Hey there, my name is LexC, and thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be going over a post I found from avoranow.com on the 5 mistakes you might be making as an artist. So if you're interested in hearing more about this, stay tuned. Looking at this list, I'd say they are good general points. And even though I do so much on my own, I do still make the mistake of number 2, not sending my music out to promo outlets. But let's get into more detail about all of these posts. Number 1 is not creating a disciplined daily plan to reach your career goals. When I read this one, it brings to mind a quote I always used to see, which is basically the difference between a dream and a plan is taking action. And that's exactly what I had to learn how to do in this entire journey. So I actually spent I don't know how many days, how many hours, how many weeks I took to sit down and think about, okay, who are my inspirations? What kind of things do they do that I like? And what are the things that I'm good at? What can I develop? What can I strengthen? What can I do better at with the weaknesses that I do have? What do I want to be good at? How can I build on those things? And I really just sat down one day and hammered out an entire outline of things that I'm good at and I want to build on, and things that I need to be good at that I need to build on as well. And so I would encourage you to do the same thing if you are an artist or whatever profession you do, really. Sit down and get into your mind. Actually write it out on paper, because that's what I did. Write it out on paper, what it is you do or what you want to do, and then break it down into all the things that you know you need to be good at to make that bigger picture be successful. You have to reverse engineer your dreams or reverse engineer your goals. And what reverse engineering is, basically you start with the bigger picture and then you break it down into those little subsets, into those little tiny details, those smaller bite-sized manageable details that you can work on every week, every day, every month. You basically just want to get an idea of the big picture and plan out those little teeny details over the span of your day, over the span of your week, over the span of a month. Eventually that grows into the span of a year, and having a plan will keep you consistent. So what I did was I actually modeled my goals after how we study in school, which is we might have 8 classes or 8 subjects. I broke down I want to be good at singing with my vocal exercise. I want my physical appearance and my physical look to be A1. I want my interview skills to be dope. I want to be able to sing and dance at the same time. And little stuff like that, I really broke down and said, okay, these are the things, these are the topics, the subjects that I want to be good at. So how can I focus on these little micro things that add up to the big picture of superstar? Let me break those down even further and see how I can chisel those down into something that I can focus on once a week for at least an hour, or once a week for at least 3 hours, or just span it across those things. You have to change your mindset to think about those little victories, because honestly, thinking about the bigger picture, it will leave you overwhelmed. But if you just focus on putting points on the board every day and making small victories, small successes, small steps every day, eventually those small steps, they're still going to get you to the same space as if you took a giant leap. The main takeaway from this is you have to break down your bigger picture into smaller snapshots to make it to that big dream, to make it to that big goal. Number 2, not sending your music to promo outlets and just posting about it on social media. I used to send my singles to online blogs and different media outlets all over the internet, and I actually compiled a big list of the kinds of blogs and the kinds of vloggers and internet personalities that I could send to get my stuff out there. But I've actually gotten away from this, and I don't really remember why. It just becomes so much. As I said before, I am my own team right now. I'm still building because I haven't really found anyone who is as passionate about my success as I am. And that's a good thing, but at the same time, I need someone who wants to see me succeed, but can also kind of use my passion as a means to jumpstart themselves as well. I haven't really found that team yet, but all of that to say, I've been slacking on that. So I do actually make this mistake as an artist, but a lot goes into it. You got to research these online outlets. You got to research these personalities. You got to try to get some contact information. Sometimes there's a fee involved in submitting your music to these online reviews, and it can be a lot. But again, just as I said with breaking down your bigger picture into these smaller bite-sized pieces, you can do the same thing when it comes to sending your music to these promotional outlets. Maybe to make it a little less threatening or a little less overwhelming, maybe you can plan your promo outreach around your release. So if you have a full album or if you have an EP that you're releasing, maybe you can, up until the release date or up until maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the release date, research these different outlets, what kind of outlets are supporting the kind of genre it is that you do, and then craft a little letter, a little template that you can do where you can easily change the names of the people you're contacting, easily change the names of the actual platform you're contacting, like what the name of their show is, and you can change that out, have the name of your song in there or the name of your project, make sure you have links included, or if you want to directly put a download into the email, you can do that. Make sure you're following the guidelines of how they want the stuff submitted to them, but you can create a quick little template to introduce yourself as an artist, introduce your project or introduce your single, and then tell them how you would love for them to play your song, to play your project, include it in their show or do a review on it for you, and try to get that conversation, try to get that connection built that way with that first reach. By doing this before your release date, when it comes time, like that 2 or 3 weeks before everything goes public on these streaming sites or goes public on your website, on your store, whatever, you will have a more organized list of, okay, these are the outlets I need to hit. I already have my template. All I need to do now is sit down and dedicate 2 or 3 hours to actually sending all of this stuff out. You can also research local artist showcases. So things, little shows and showcases and performances that you can do around your city or in your state, around your region. If you're comfortable traveling a little bit, you can research those things and see how you can get involved with physically being in front of people, physically making those connections. Or you can research through Instagram is a good place of finding them, and YouTube. Find some channels, find some personalities who do music reviews. As I said earlier, you may have to pay a fee to either be included in the review or to skip the line of the review. That's just the name of the game. That's how these people pay their bills and make their money. You can submit to these online review shows, and then they will listen to your song on live and they will give their honest critique. Do they like it? Do they not like it? What is it about the song? Could they see themselves putting it in rotation on their show, or would they pass on it? And it gives you a good gauge of how people are responding to your music, because they're also going to be allowing their audience most of the time to comment on what song is playing, and the audience will also say what they think about it. So doing these online music reviews is a good way to get that quick burst, that quick exposure to people. Also, you can research your local radio stations. A lot of them do have these new artist competitions or these local artist competitions that you can submit to and do kind of like a battlegrounds kind of situation where once a week they'll play indie artists and the top artist will get the #1 spot during this like hour-long mix show. So that would be another thing you could do when it comes to sending your music and promoting your music through these outlets. Number 3, overspending on non-essential things instead of investing in your brand or career. For this one, it just requires a change of your mindset. My personal example is spending years trying to figure out how to do things on my own, like my hair and my makeup, my nails, trying to figure out how to style myself. And honestly, not my hair and makeup right now. Najee Ariane did my makeup for this. I literally woke up like this, y'all. I just had to share that really quickly. And she did my hair. The curls finally fell. It just looks amazing. But anyway, I'll leave her information down below. But anyway, for the longest time, I was a broke college student. Even though I had 2 jobs, I still was not making enough money to really enjoy life. So add that into the fact that it's really expensive to build up a brand and to start a business. I was sacrificing on a lot of things, and I was not enjoying luxuries. So I tried really hard to, if I could find something that I could cut out so I could put that extra money, those extra dollars towards something in my artistry, I was doing that. I stopped going to the hair salon because it costs money to get a perm and get my hair done all the time. So I decided to go natural. And then I stopped going to nail salons. My nails, they grow really well on their own anyway. If I just put in some time to do my nails myself, then I can make them pretty. Even without all the nail polish and stuff though, they still look really good. My makeup, I was finally able to invest in some foundation, some concealer. You can find some good products at dollar stores, at Dollar Generals, Walmart's, Kroger's. They do have really good, cheaper brands of makeup as compared to like Sephora or MAC products. And I just really focused on trying to find ways that I could do things myself so that I could give all those funds to my music, to my artistry, to the promotion, and to hopefully get everything that I need as an artist to build my name up. As I said before, it is going to take a change in your mindset. I noticed that I was so willing to sacrifice so many things, and not just when it comes to money, also when it came to spending time with certain people or the kinds of activities I was spending my time doing. There was a point in my life where I was ignoring family, I was ignoring friends. If it didn't have anything to do with building me up in my artistry, I didn't really want to have a part in it. If I didn't see a connection between it building me up in my artistry, I wasn't interested in it. And I actually started realizing that I was not hanging out with people the way I wanted to. And I used to get mad at some of my friends because they would seem like they were enjoying doing things a lot more than I was. But I had to realize that this is the choice I made. This is a part of the game. These are the sacrifices that all these artists talk about when they say they had to give up certain things to make it to where they are. Now, being a superstar is like a major level thing. What kind of sacrifices do you think you're going to have to make it on that level? Of course, I wanted to do those things. I wanted to go out and party. I wanted to go out and hook up. I wanted to go out and travel. But in my mind, the bigger picture for me is what's more important than these temporary pleasures, if that makes sense. These days, I am doing a better job of balancing myself and balancing the playtime with the work time. But I definitely still feel that I have more of a focus than a lot of people that I was around at the time. So something that you should think about is, where can I cut certain things out of my life to save money if I'm not making enough or I feel like I don't have enough to put towards my business, towards my artistry? What can I do? It's going to be a mindset change for you. This leads into the next point, number 4, not making sacrifices required to excel, like hanging out with friends or watching too much Netflix. And again, this doesn't always have to mean money. I don't think I have to expound on this one as much because this is pretty much the same point as number 3. It doesn't always mean sacrificing money. Time is the biggest commodity that we have aside from money. You can choose to spend your time doing other things. And in another video I mentioned, there are a lot of free resources out there. Just look at Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. These are free platforms, and there are a lot of good pages out there. There's a lot of good information that these people are actually putting out there. You can learn a lot for free, but are you spending time searching out these things, or are you spending time sleeping too much? I love my sleep, but y'all, we only need 8 hours in a day, okay? Are you spending too much time sleeping? Are you spending too much time partying? Are you spending too much time on the couch watching TV? Like, what is it that you're doing that requires your time that you can put towards something else? Because it's not always a money thing that requires sacrifice. It's definitely a time thing that requires sacrifice. And also, as I said before, it does become very difficult when you start to realize that out of your group of friends, you might be the more serious one, or it feels like you're the more serious one because everyone else seems to be enjoying life or doing these things that you want to do, but you're trying to stay disciplined and build towards something else, and it feels like you're missing out on a lot. I think you kind of have to get comfortable with the idea that you may have to do a lot of things alone, and that people are going to misunderstand you, and people are going to be upset with you when you put your priorities before theirs. And that's okay as long as you are realizing that everything you're doing, it's working for you, for your good. It's working for you to make it to your goals and for you to build the future and the goals and the things that you see for yourself. Number 5, over perfectionism, not being happy with good enough, which makes you stall every release. I actually used to be really bad at this too, going back to point number 1 of not planning, or what was number 1? Not creating a disciplined daily plan to reach your career goals. When I did all of my planning, there was a point where I was trying too hard to do too much, and it actually caused me to not act on any of the things that I had put on this little piece of paper telling myself that I needed to do. There is such a thing as over planning and overthinking and trying to be too perfect. Now, we do want to put out products that are quality, and we do want to make sure that we are giving a good representation of who we are as an artist. But at the same time, if you hold on to every single thing because it's not exactly as you would like it to be, who's going to see your work except for you? That song is going to sit on your hard drive. That canvas is going to sit in your room. Like, I don't know what other analogies to give you because this is mainly about music, but that music is going to sit on your hard drive. You're going to be the only person to hear it. No one else is going to listen to it. Why are you holding on to it? How do you expect people to find you and love you for your music if you're not putting it out because you're not sure about it? And I've also watched a lot of interviews over the years where artists will say, there's this one song that I didn't really like that much, but then I put it out and it's the most viewed, it's the most streamed song that my fans like. And it might be a song that you hate, but somebody else loves it. And it's the same thing for the songs that you have that are old to you, but there's someone out there who hasn't heard it yet. So why are you sitting on it? Why are you downplaying your own work by not releasing it? Don't try to be too perfect because nobody is perfect. You will never reach perfectionism. You can only strive for perfect, and that's when you get your best results. And that's it for the 5 mistakes that you might be making as an artist. This was more so a reflection for me, but I also hope it was a reflection for you to see, am I making any of these mistakes, or are there any mistakes that were not on this list that you feel you might be making that might be holding you back from progressing? Let me know in the comment section down below. Before I end this video, I want to give a special shout out to my patrons. They are seeing this video way before you on YouTube. Why? Because they're my patrons. And you can be a patron too when you go to www.patreon.com/LexCATL. For just $5 a month, you can become a patron, which means you get access to my content as soon as I upload it, not when I decide to make it public to the general people on YouTube or on Anchor. So as a patron, you get those pieces of content as soon as I upload. And when you make requests for stuff that you want to see from me, I bump that to the top of my list for videos to do. So not only do you see things a lot quicker, but you also see more of the things that you actually want to see, hear, and learn about. So become a patron by signing up at www.patreon.com/LexCATL. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like it and you want to see more, give me a big thumbs up, subscribe, comment, share, all of those things. And I hope to see you in the next video. But until then, my name is LexC. Peace.